Righto team, so today's a very special day. We're going to put a big turbo with a high mount on this VL Calais turbo of mine. So it should be fun. I'll show you what I know. Hopefully everyone can learn something. Yeah, let's see what happens. Alright, so today's a very important day. We're going to try and put a turbo. It already is turbo, but we're going to put a bigger turbo on a high mount manifold on this this Calais turbo of mine. Need a lot of parts to do it. Fortunately, I think I've nutted out everything that I need. I'll just go through some of the stuff for you now, starting with the most important being the turbo. So Garrett Gen 1 3582R. So that spoolie boy will do the job pretty good. It's got a pretty big 4-inch mouth on it. Yeah, she'll make some boost. Exhaust manifold. So got the old 6boost here. I think that's like a 50mm external gate, like Turbo Smart or something. That'll be cool. Exhaust housing, I went with a 0.83. I guess we'll see if it's too small. I definitely don't want a lag monster because it is a street car. But hey, if I need to buy a new rear housing later on, go something bigger like a 101 or something like that, then so be it. It is what it is. Need an exhaust obviously, so I'm going from a normal flange type setup to a V-band. So I'm going to have a V-band, 3-inch V-band straight off the rear of the exhaust housing of the turbo. So need things like V-band clamp, need a new turbo gasket, exhaust manifold gasket. I got some 3-inch exhaust gaskets there. Other exhaust stuff, VL Commodores. If you have a VL Commodore, or most old model Commodores for that example, these little figure 8 exhaust rubbers will be your friend. Some people charge an arm and a leg for them. I just find them online and just buy them as a pack. It's always handy to keep a couple in the car in case your exhaust starts rattling around and making a bit of noise. You just boom, jump underneath and pop one of these bad boys on. Worst case scenario, you can use some wire or something like that to get you out of trouble, but very handy to have. I just got some sealant. I use this ultra copper stuff for anything hot. Works a treat. Got some new oil and water lines. We'll throw them together and see how that goes. I probably will put some more heat protection on it later on, but for the time being we'll just get everything on and get it going, and then we can refine. This, no, it's not like a black, what's the word that I can use that's PG? Yeah, anyway, it's not what you think it is. It's actually just the oil return, so it's just the black hose. The rest of the exhaust, saw 3-inch. It was stainless, but I bought it secondhand and it had a fair bit of surface rust on it, so I just kind of cleaned it up with a wire wheel and gave it a coat of high temperature black. I got a bigger fuel pump, so I think this is a AEM 400 litres per hour. I got some Bosch Motorsport 1000s. These are the short ones, but for a VL you just put little extensions on and you're good to go. No drama there. And then over here I'm going to use this and give it a go. I think it's going to work pretty good, but I'm going to use this flexible tubing and I'm going to make my wastegate pipe plumb back into my dump pipe utilizing some V-bands. I reckon that's going to work a treat. And then also for you know, off-street use, I can then put like a, you know, a screamer pipe on it and just have it dumped to the ground or something. But you know, for the street, I can plumb this back into my dump, and then, you know, I can put bungs in it and stuff like that if I'm going to go off-road, and just put the screaming pipe on. So I reckon that'll work. What else? So I'm going to need to do some welding. So weld these bungs in, so I can narrow band, wide band, and also, yeah, my narrow band and also my wide band. So I'll plumb those in. So we'll do some welding. So you'll need a welder, angle grinder. This is just like a cheap $20 angle grinder, and I've done so many jobs with this. It's an absolute pearler. So yeah, should be fun. Should be, hopefully it won't get too messy. Yeah, and we'll see how we go. One thing that might catch me out is, because I got a strut brace, and where that turbo is going to sit, we might have some problems with this strut brace here. So I know that you can buy a rear mounted strut brace that goes around the back, so that might be something that I need to do. But yeah, we'll bolt that on and we'll just see how it is, and if I need to buy another one, then so be it. And yeah, I might be able to use this on the other build that I'm doing. So yeah, I reckon we should get stuck into it. Alright, so the first thing I'm probably going to do is I'll probably remove this pipe, take off the heat shield, disconnect this intercooler piping, and then I'll probably I'll disconnect one side of the strut brace and I'll move it up, give me some room. Then I'll jack the car up and put it on stands. I'll jump underneath, I'll take the dump pipe off, and then we'll start loosening up yeah, the turbo manifold. And once we get that turbo manifold loose, I should be able to access some of the turbo lines underneath, and then yeah, we'll go from there. So basically this is a GT 3076R, pretty good, spools up really fast on the street. Yeah, I had an opportunity to buy another brand new turbo pretty cheap with a 6-boost high mount, so I jumped on it, and yeah, I'm going to use this turbo manifold for another setup. So alright, so now we've got it all jacked up. We've got some bits and pieces off, so I'll jump down and get on my back. It's probably where I do my best work. Maybe only in a driveway, not in the bedroom, but can't win them all, right? So yeah, I'll jump on my back. I'll undo the other few bolts for this dump pipe, undo the bolts to the cat, and then yeah, there's just the wideband as well. So cat, there's some bolts up in here, and we'll pull that dump pipe out, and then we'll start attacking this exhaust manifold. Should be pretty sweet. So that was gross. It was one of those ones where you just got to do a spanner and it's just turn, turn, turn. You can't get anything else on it. So that wasn't too bad. I'm used to that. But I was right underneath the steering rack boot, and it must be leaking just a little bit out of the end of the steering rack, and it was just dripping like on my face and in my ear, and I even tasted a little bit of power steering fluid. Hopefully it doesn't kill me, and I can confirm that it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant at all. Anyway, I undid all of the dump pipe bolts on the back of the exhaust housing. So then now I just got to undo the wideband sensor, and then undo the 2 bolts to the cab, and then this dump pipe will come out. So let's do it. Righto, cool. So got the dump pipe off. As you can see here, it's the bad boy. Yeah, that's like a I'm pretty sure that's a Ford flange. So 5 bolt, yeah, yep. So like I said, we're going to a V-band, so it's going to be a lot better for maintenance purposes. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, should be pretty sweet, I reckon. We'll go from there and see what happens. Yeah, so now I just need to undo these, all these 11mm 12 points. Makes it a lot easier to get onto, and I'm pretty sure, I think it might be my oil feed line, because this turbo is a lot bigger than what the factory one is. I had to space it down when I put it on, and it's like pretty much almost touching the banjo bolt on the side of the block for that feed. So what I need to do is I need to actually loosen this manifold a little bit, get the turbo a little bit away from that banjo, then I can undo the banjo, and then I can pull the thing out, plus the water pipe and all that kind of stuff. So oil drain, etc, etc. But almost got it out, and it wasn't really too painful. Like I said, I'm pretty good on my back in the driveway, so yeah, let's get this shit done. Well, that bloody oil feed was a nightmare. I had to go gloveless because I needed the dexterity. Yeah, so I just have to do water feed, water return, and yeah, oil drain, and then that manifold is off. It's nothing worse than like draining nice fresh new coolant. It's like I'm bleeding inside or outside, either, but it's not pleasant. So yeah, but I can catch it and I can reuse it because, you know, recycling. One turbo out. Alright, so just doing some trial fitment. I reckon, judging by that, where this exhaust housing sits, we're going to have no dramas with the strut brace. Potentially going to have to cut back this intercooler pipe here. I might be able to use that weld as like my bead so the pipe doesn't slip off, so that might work out well. And just with my little 45 angled up here, or 90, whatever it is, that should work out pretty good, I think. And then yeah, the other issue is going to be the wastegate, just with this heat shroud. So I'm going to want to keep this heat shroud because I like that factory look, even though having a high mount turbo is not factory at all. But I reckon if I bash this out a little bit, you know, maybe cut some holes for you know, my reference lines and stuff like that, and drill a hole for this to mount, I reckon we're going to make that pretty sweet. So, but right now I'm getting hungry, so I need to have a feed, and I'm thinking KFC because, you know, I've earned it. So I'll see you soon. Alright, party people, I need to cut off this V-band and weld this V-band fitting on, because this V-band fitting matches my rear housing for my turbo, and that one does not. So let's get the angle grinder out and do some cutting and do some welding. Should be fun. Alright, so we've just done a bit of a mock-up, just so we can see how everything sits. And like I thought, I'm going to have to chop that intercooler pipe back. And yeah, should be able to use that weld instead of having a bead roll there, and then I'll stop the pipe. Sorry, the silicone bend popping off. I still need to clock the turbo properly so I can get my oil drain and stuff facing the right way. As you can see, it's pointing off to the side. That needs to go straight down. Yeah, welded on that V-band. Had to grind it back a little bit because, you know, I'm not the best fabricator, but I give it a shot. And I got my wastegate down there, and I need to make the little screamer pipe that's going to run back into that dump, so it's street legal, and then weld in the wide band bung for the sensor. So I'm tracking along nicely. Encountered some issues, but you always do that when you work on cars. Nothing that's bolt on ever really bolts on.